If you're anything like me, you probably become a little acclimated to all the craziness that's come out of Donald Trump's mouth over the past decade or so. After all, nearly every day he has said something crazy or foolish or outright idiotic or even inflammatory, and after a while it becomes hard for us to legitimately pay attention to all of this nonsense that he spews. Today, however, he managed to break through all of the other craziness with remarks that are truly stunning. In case you didn't already hear, Trump posted several remarks on Truth Social about how some Democratic lawmakers have committed treason or displayed seditious behavior, and that it's punishable by death. What happened is that there was a video made by 6 Democratic lawmakers who once served in the military and intelligence agencies, and they had a message for those who are currently serving that they only have an obligation to follow lawful orders, not illegal ones. First, here's the video that these 6 Democrats made.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris Deluzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow.
I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community.
Who take risks each day
To keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
And intelligence community professionals
against American citizens.
like us. You all swore an oath.
To protect and defend this Constitution.
And right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad,
But from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
you must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law.
Or our Constitution.
We know this is hard.
And that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
In the Army,
Our Navy,
The Air Force.
Your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
because now, more than ever,
The American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws.
our Constitution,
And who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
don't give up.
don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
To me, there are two clear messages in this video. The first being how the military and intelligence communities are being pitted against American citizens, and this seems to be a reference to the military being in American cities. The second message is how illegal orders should not be obeyed, and that was repeated a couple times at the end. This is also 100% true. Illegal or unlawful orders should not be obeyed. Service members take an oath to the Constitution of the United States, not to an individual superior officer or the president. The oath implies a responsibility to uphold the law, and that includes disobeying orders that violate the Constitution. All of this is outlined in the Uniform Code of Military Justice. However, what these 6 Democrats said was taken in completely the opposite way by Trump and many on the right. Rather than there being an obligation to disobey unlawful orders, what they said was instead being characterized as telling the military and intelligence communities to disobey orders. In response to that, here are just a few things that Trump posted on Truth Social. It's called seditious behavior at the highest level. Each one of these traitors to our country should be arrested and put on trial. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. We won't have a country anymore. An example must be set. Reposting someone who said, "Hang them, George Washington would." Another comment where Trump said, "This is really bad and dangerous to our country. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors. Lock them up, ? And finally, seditious behavior punishable by death. And Trump also reposted other comments by his fans that called the Democrats' video treason. Not only have Republicans not pushed back against what Trump said, in which case their silence speaks volumes. But House Speaker Mike Johnson actually said, "You have leading members of Congress telling troops to disobey orders." I think that's unprecedented in American history. And again, at no point in that video did any of those members of Congress tell troops to disobey orders. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt also defended what Trump said. "You have sitting members of the United States Congress who conspired together to orchestrate a video message to members of the United States military, to active duty service members, to members of national security apparatus, encouraging them to defy the president's lawful orders." Again, that video made by the 6 Democrats said nothing about defying lawful orders. Now, I just want to make 2 points with all of this. The first point being how obvious it is that the Republicans absolutely fear Donald Trump. After all, no one can fight the beast. But we see people like Mike Johnson absolutely bending over backwards to ignore or defend what Trump says because they do not want to feel his wrath. And a moment ago I said how no one can fight the beast, and I was referencing Revelation 13:4, which says, "Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?" This is precisely what we're seeing right now in America, as almost the entire right is afraid of Donald Trump. They do not want to make war with him. They will twist themselves into a pretzel, if that's what it takes, in order to defend him or simply change the subject if he says something shocking like he did today. The second point I want to make is that Trump's remarks about how certain of his enemies have committed treason or sedition and are deserving of death is very reminiscent of how the Bible talks about what the Antichrist will do. Specifically, those that refuse the mark of the beast are, in essence, committing treason against the Antichrist. They refuse to obey him or be subservient to him, which is why he will have many of them beheaded. It would be just as easy for the beast kingdom to let those who do not take the mark of the beast to try and live lives without buying and selling, which would obviously be very, very difficult. However, the beast kingdom wants to behead these people, which suggests that it will be illegal to refuse the mark. Or, in other words, the mark will be the sign that your allegiance is to the beast, rather than to Jesus Christ. And when we do not take the mark of the beast, we will be refusing to follow the law of the beast kingdom. We will be committing treason. What Donald Trump said today is an example of how he keeps inching closer and closer to the day where he will make it illegal to say anything against him, to not follow his orders. And he has already called for the death penalty against his political opponents numerous times over the last couple of years, including showing a picture of a guillotine in a fundraising email. He has shown that he has an obsession with the death penalty and demands absolute loyalty. When you combine those things with him having an incredibly thin skin and how he just bristles at the slightest criticism, we can see where this is all heading. The day is coming soon when we will need to show our allegiance to the beast or be accused of treason. And to show our allegiance to the beast, we will need the mark of the beast. But many of us will not take the mark of the beast because we do not care about the things of this world. What we care about is the kingdom of God.